Okay. So what you see on your screens right now is we talk about the key features of Java, and we try and understand what the features that makes it so popular. So we say Java is an object-oriented programming language which produces software for multiple programs. Uh, Object-oriented, why? Because it follows a bottoms-up approach. Uh, so basically, you think about the actors of the application first rather than the behavior. So it is truly object oriented. Everything you will be able to relate to the real world in terms of objects. And when we say produces software for multiple programs, it is platform independent. Once you have written your code in Java, you will be able to execute it across multiple operating systems without making much of a change. So it's like write once, run anywhere. You can write and compile a Java program on a Unix machine and run it on Windows. So it gives you that platform independence. And a bit on the history, that it was developed by James Gosling of Sun Microsystems in 1995. It was named Oak initially, and then later on it was renamed as Java, as Java is also one of the popular coffees. So, okay, let's talk about the features in detail. Um, when I say platform independent, there are really no key dependencies, no changes required, and it's also portable. So there are multiple operating systems, multiple configurations that you can run your same code on, and that is the main reason why Java is so popular. So basically, once you've written your program, it cannot be read by any other person because your program gets into an intermediate file mode, which is bytecodes. What are bytecodes? Once you write your Java program, they are compiled into a format which is not directly readable, which we call bytecodes. And these bytecodes can be, transferred to any machine, and they can be executed there. This also makes Java very secure. Okay, so Java is highly secure because of this functionality. It's dynamic. We say Java is dynamic because you will see, as and when we write programs, there will be lot of I would say configurations or dependencies that would be resolved at runtime. Information gathering and dependency resolution will occur at runtime when your program is actually executed. And hence we say Java is dynamic also. There is another feature. We say Java is concurrent. Concurrent, why? Because when the execution happens, there are a lot of statements that are executed in parallel. It is like a block of code getting executed in parallel rather than line by line. So that is, we say that Java is a concurrent object-oriented language. It's robust. It takes care of the memory allocation and deallocation. Yes, very important feature. There are no pointers in Java. Maybe if some of you have worked in C++, you must be aware that pointers really was like the biggest pain for developers, because you were supposed to manage them, manage the memory allocation and deallocation of objects. Here in Java, it is the JVM who takes care of it. So it is much it's lesser hassle for programmers. The memory allocation and deallocation part is done and managed in background by Java itself. All right, it's a high performing language. It gives you a very good performance because of the bytecodes that get translated into your native machines. Okay, Pallavi, I read your message. The recording is started. I had enabled it before we began.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, though, for reminding. Yeah. So once the bytecodes are easy to transfer, they are basically machine language 0101 is what they can be converted into the native machine language, and they are very easily portable. So these are some of the key features. As and when we progress, if we will talk more on these whenever we implement them in our programs, whenever we see them in action in our programs. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Yes, I would want you to. So JDK, JRE, and JVM. JDK is the key platform component, which includes JRE and the development tools that are required for end-to-end execution of the Java programs. So if you want to develop Java programs on your code and run them, you will need the entire JDK on your machine. Okay, JRE is the runtime environment, which provides all the libraries and all the files to JVM. It is the implementation. You can say that whatever support JVM requires for executing your Java programs, uh, that supporting files, those library files are all that JRE provides. So it is your runtime environment. Many times we come across this question that is JRE enough for execution of my Java code? Yes, as long as you just want to, you have Java files with you and you just want to run them, a JRE would be good enough. But if you want to develop code, if you want to write Java programs as well, you will need the entire JDK. And as from the diagram, you can see JRE has the class library as well as JVM. What's a JVM? It's an abstract machine. You will not be able to see JVM per se, but whatever is happening in background, whatever Java program you write or you run using JRE or JDK goes into the JVM, and JVM is the one which is responsible for executing that code. All right. So if you have JVM, basically if you have the runtime environment, the libraries in JVM, then you should be good to run your code. But as I said, if you want to work as a developer and you want to set up your development environment, the entire JDK unit is a must. So what we will set up on our machines would be JDK, because we'll be writing code as well as executing them.